Hi there. Welcome back to those who have returned for more of the videos in terms of plant care, and a warm welcome to everybody who might be new and has stumbled onto this video. I'm Memo. I'm here to talk about my passion, which is houseplants, and some of the houseplants that I care for, which I may have not found as much information on YouTube or anywhere else online. So I thought I'd share this with everybody here and hopefully provide some information for people who are looking to purchase this or who have just got these plants as well. I will try to post every 2 to 3 times a week. And as a new content creator, it really does help if you guys like this kind of content, if you drop a like down below and subscribe as well to see when new videos come up. So moving on to the plant really quickly, this, and you might be able to see this, and I'll try to bring it further back so you can see it in full glory. This is an Anthurium Mettalicum. So this is one of the large leaf anthuriums that I have, and I will move it slightly out of the way so you can still see me as well. But yeah, the thing I could say about this is obviously you can see how large and in charge the leaves are there, and quite thick leaves as well. There's a bit of an iridescence or a bit of a sheen on the leaf, not an iridescence, probably a bit more of a sheen. And you can see where the original leaf was when I first purchased this plant from a plant friend on Instagram. The leaf already had quite a bit of damage around the side of it. It has got a bit worse, but it's also one of the older leaves as well. So this eventually, you can see it's already starting to yellow, so eventually it will die off to make space for a new leaf. There is a new growth point having there, so I'm assuming there's a new leaf that's on its way. And you can see the other leaf that I had as well. I was suffering a bit at some point with edema on the leaves, and you can see the browning there, but it hasn't progressed since then. The leaf is fine. And actually let's talk about how pretty the leaves can be as well, because everybody's so obsessed with trying to get perfect leaves. And you can fall down that rabbit hole and you can try to control it all you want, and you probably will do an okay job at doing that. But please try to remember that in nature, these plants aren't perfect. They'll get battered by the elements. They'll also have predators or pests that will go on there. So as long as there's definitely some green, as you can see with this older leaf here as well, it might not be Instagram worthy, but this leaf is still helping this plant photosynthesize. So leave it on there. If you want Instagram worthy pictures, there are ways that you can angle your photos, so you just take a picture of the leaves that look perfect, but leave some of the other leaves on there if you don't mind seeing them in your own house day in, day out, because at the end of the day they're still helping the plant survive. In terms of care for this plant, I have got it growing in terracotta. As a running joke about the dots at the back of some of my plant pots, that was because a few months back, when people were obviously allowed to go on holidays a bit more before we were all in lockdowns and COVID happened, I'd go on holiday and I'd have some friends come over and take care of the plants, and I had a sticker system with yellow, red and green about how often those plants needed to be watered, and it worked really well actually. But there's a running joke now between me and all my friends about the dots on all my plants. But yes, so it's in a terracotta pot, light aeroid mix, so a lot of chunky perlite and orchid bark. And you can see here as well, I've done what some people suggest and put some damp sphagnum moss around the base of the plant as well. Apparently it's supposed to help with humidity and also to retain some of that moisture around some of those roots that are going into the soil that might start off as aerial roots. And in terms of watering with this one, it's an interesting one. It's probably one of my thirstiest anthuriums, so based on meter reads that I get from my water meter, because I will check this every time I need to water it, is every 2 to 3 days it gets watered, at least in my environment, and it gets fertilized or fed every 12 to 14 days. This is in my plant room, which means that it has got an environment that's got relatively high humidity, between 60 and 70%. This is definitely not a plant that I would want to have in a lower humidity. I don't think it would do particularly well, and anthuriums sometimes can be a bit fussy and temperamental when it comes to low humidity levels. So bear that in mind. You can have a humidifier running near this. You can have it. Pebble trays might work as well. I don't know whether or not they've ever really worked in my environment. But yeah, just anything you can do to kind of raise that humidity. Don't bother spraying water because it raises the humidity for a few minutes around the plant and then it dissipates. And if anything, you can pass on pathogens on the leaf by just that water sitting on the leaves. So bear that in mind. Another thing as well with this plant is I've had it in medium light situations and it was growing fine. One of the other large leaves on it was in the medium, the leaf that had the edema was in the medium light situation. The new leaf, this one here, which you might be able to see, I'll bring it up there as well. This one is in bright and direct light and it seems to be doing really well. That's a huge new leaf and I've got, as I said, another one coming through at the moment. In terms of pest, touch wood, I've not had really any pest pressures with this plant. And yeah, I think that's about everything about how I've cared for this plant. In the meantime, if you've got this plant, please do share your advice down below. As I said, even me, there's not a lot that I can find online about this as well. So I'd be really curious to see how you're growing it in your environment. And if you're thinking about getting this plant and you've got loads of questions you want to ask, drop it in the comments down below and let's have that discussion. But yeah, thank you so much for your time and I hope you have a good rest of the day. Bye.